You don't know what to do. When you find yourself in a situation where you just don't know what to do or what are the next steps to take in the process, that's where we come into the 5x5 business system. The first step of the 5x5 business system is vision and mindset. Having the right vision and mindset is key to moving anything forward. In this video, I'm going to go over the first part of the 5x5 vision system, dealing with vision and mindset. I'm going to go over the 11 steps to clarity in vision and mindset to help you get through those difficult giants of creating the right vision and creating the right mindset so you can actually have the oomph to get there. All right, so let's dive into this real quick. It's important to understand that you can have a vision, but you don't always have the mindset to make the vision happen. You can also have the mindset to make a vision happen, but you don't have the vision to make happen. Now, those are difficult things. It's a difficult situation to be in. I came up with an 11-step process. We're going to walk you through it right now. And it it breaks down the process I go through to how do we grow something? Because people have always told me, Jeremiah, you always think so big and so fast. And I broke it down into 11 steps that I go through. I gave it tons of thought and tons of thinking. And I sat down and I noodled it down and wrote it out and thought through it and tried it out several times. And this is the 11-step process I go through. It's weird that it's 11 steps, but there it is. I don't know how it came out. First and foremost, the first step is make sure you're ready. Make sure you're ready. I encourage you to get a piece of paper, a pen, something to write down, and go through this process with me. You know, while you're at it, grab a cup of coffee or something. This is in one of my favorite coffee mugs. I love this. The first step is honestly humility. The first step is humility. You have to come to this moment understanding that there is a way forward. There is a way forward. You might not see it, and that's okay. You know, God in his wonderful providence, he put us here in life. And I remember one time I was praying, going, God, what am I supposed to do moving forward? I have this goal I'm trying to achieve. And God, I kind of felt like he put his arm around me. He does this a lot, kind of smacks me upside the head sometimes, tells me I'm stupid, and then shows me what the truth is. And here I was going, God, what am I supposed to do next? And in my mind, God was kind of telling me that I'm looking for what's down over the hill, around the mountain, around the bend, and God would love to show that to me, but my eyes don't stretch that far. But there is a way, and he knows what it is. All I can do is see as far as my eyes can see one step along in the process. And so I have to believe, I have to understand in humility that there is a way. There is a way to make your dream happen. Whatever your dream is, whatever your goal is, wherever you're stuck, there is a way through it. If it's all on your shoulders, guess what? There's still a way. But if it all rests on you, we're simple people, we're simple beings, no matter what we've done, no matter how many companies we've owned, no matter how many dollars are in the bank or how many acres we own. We're all simple people just trying to figure out life. There's no way we can all account for every single little detail. It's just impossible. We have to understand that there is a way, and that way is going to be bigger than us. We're just not there yet. We just can't see it yet, but there is a way. The first step is to understand no matter where you are, no matter how you're stuck, no matter what you're trying to figure out, there is a way. It might be beyond you at this minute, at this moment. It might be beyond your control, beyond your understanding, but that's okay. There is a way. So let's approach this in humility as we come through this. Second thing, step number 2 in our 11 steps to clarity for vision and mindset. Step number 2 is abundance. We have to understand that there is opportunity. There is an abundance of opportunity. There is abundance of possibilities. We just have to be patient and understand that not only is there a way that is currently beyond us, understanding our own humility in the situation, we have to understand, number 2, that there is an abundance of opportunity. There is a way of making it happen. There are the resources available to make it happen. Now, I have put together, as an example, let me give you a couple of examples of how that might happen or how that might play out, because I've seen that happen in my life in amazing ways. So there was an opportunity for me at one point in time to buy a company. And of course, some of these are buying companies or real estates or something like that, but for my examples. But one time I was looking at buying a company and I could not buy a company because I had some other financial deals going on to acquire this company. And I was talking to some of my financial advisors early on saying, I can't do this. I have these other deals going on. And if I acquire this over here, these other things are going to fall through. But I was stuck with that not abundance mindset, and it really held me back. And one of my mentors said, no, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. There is a way, and there is opportunity here. And through the process, he helped me to see that I could get 4 times a bigger deal at the end with bigger companies and everything else. And I was like, wow, I didn't believe it, because I was stuck thinking that there wasn't enough resources. There was another time that again happened with another company that I purchased, and I did not have not even like 5% of the down payment to make this happen at the time. And but I had an abundance mindset. I had an abundance mindset here, and I was talking to my wife, and at the time the owners wanted about $2 million for this company. And I looked at the owners and I said, absolutely, let's take a look at it. I might have had like $20,000 available at that moment in time. I said, well, let's take a look at it and we'll see what the numbers say. And so I did. And when I went home, talked to my wife briefly about it, my wife said, you're crazy. We only have $20,000 in the bank. There's no way you can make this happen. And I said, honey, if God wants this to happen, there is nothing that's going to stop it. And if he doesn't want it to happen, it's not going to come together. All I told the owner was, let's take a look at it and see what the numbers really say. We ended up doing some contract negotiations. I ended up buying that company, believe it or not, and we ended up negotiating a good deal. Everything worked out fine and fantastic. And my point being there is we were able to do that even though we didn't have anything at that moment. Not anything seriously to throw at it. But as we put things together and we had a couple of other resources, we sold some things, we negotiated some things, we found some investors, we came through and we pulled it together. There is an abundance of resources available, and they're not all in your pocket. It's not all on you. If you think it's all on you, that's not coming at it from a position of humility. The last time I'm going to share one more example here about the issue of abundance. There was I was looking at buying some commercial property, at one point in time. And so I walked in and took a look at all these different commercial properties and went out and talked to several different people and several different real estate agents, looked at several properties, and I went in and I said, this is the one that I want. And I made an offer on the property, and the real estate agent looked at the offer that I was making and said, there's no way they're going to buy this or take this offer. No way at all. Because I had put in the offer absolutely everything I wanted. And it's a sales concept called buying out of your own pocket or selling out of your own pocket. You got to be real careful not to do that. You got to just put out whatever the best offer is. So with the concept of abundance, with the concept of seeing opportunity, I said, you know what? This is what it's worth to me. Go make the offer. Turns out they made the offer. And because I saw the opportunity, it came together. Amazingly, it came together. Not just because I saw it, but I mean, I pursued it, and that's very important. But you have to understand there is opportunity. There is abundance out there. Step number 3 in our 11 steps to clarity. First step was humility. Second step was abundance, understanding there is abundance. First step, understanding we have to approach it humbly, that it's not all on us, and it's not all based on our own pocketbook or our own skill set. We come at it humbly, realizing that we don't have all the parts and pieces, but we can bring it together. Abundance, realizing that there are different resources available to us. We just have to bring that together. The third step is acceptance. We have to accept both fear and failure with open arms. We have to accept that when we pursue our dreams and we pursue our goals, we might achieve great success, but we have to accept fear and we have to accept failure on the same level and with the same joy. Yes, joy, that we accept success. We have to accept fear and failure. There's going to be some scary things. There's going to be things that we don't know about, that we don't understand are going to happen. There are going to be problems, new problems, different problems, and that we've never dealt with before. But guess what? We're not in this all alone. And there are definitely tons of opportunity and tons of resources available for us if we come at it humbly and with acceptance that we don't know everything. We can come through there and greet it with open arms, and we can achieve these things. Step number 4 in our 11 steps to clarity. You see, the first 3 steps, humility, abundance, and acceptance, all dealt with our personal mindset, trying to put things together on this. Step number 4 is very internal. It deals with our dreams. Our dreams, meaning we need to envision our ultimate success. We need to envision our ultimate success. What's that going to look like? What does our ultimate success look like? For some people, that's going to be really big. Hundreds of employees, thousands of employees, hundreds of thousands of employees. For other people, it's going to be about time and having the ability to, quote unquote, do what I want. Or for some people, it's going to be about having freedom. Maybe the freedom to spend time with family. Maybe it's the freedom to buy what they want. But you need to understand what your dream is. What is your dream? In the great big sense of all dreaminess, what is your ultimate? What does ultimate success look like? You need to take a good 10 minutes, write down a couple of paragraphs on what your ultimate dream looks like. Part number 5, desires. The first 4 parts of the 11 steps to clarity were humility, abundance, acceptance, and dreams. Part number 5 deals with desires. Now, you might think that that was covered in part number 4 with dealing with our ultimate success, our dream. But believe it or not, it doesn't. Sometimes we have a great big dream sitting out there, but it doesn't come in line with our true desires of what we're trying to shoot for in life. Believe it or not, that happens more often than not. We have a dream, but our dream does not really line up with our desires. Our desire is what we truly want to achieve. And it's slightly different. You're going to have to spend some time thinking about this. Do your dreams line up with what your desires are? For example, for me, I have great big dreams. No matter what I think about, it always gets exploded into something huge. Within moments, within minutes at longest, I will take an idea and blow it up to the biggest dream possible, where I'm creating multiple stores and multiple venues and multiple income streams and multiples. Those are the big dreams, the pie in the sky. But that doesn't always fit my personal desires. I actually desire a very simple life. And if I make things too complicated, that dream actually goes against my personal desire, my indwelling desire. I can handle those things, but I've learned over the years that as it gets more complicated and more complex, it's easy for me to come up with those ideas and to see how it's structured, but that doesn't fit with my personal desires of what gives me happiness in life. So you have to make sure that your dream, whatever it is, aligns with your true desires of what gives you joy. And your dream and your desire of joy is two separate things. Step number 6 in the 11 steps to clarity. Step number 6 is the concept of limitless. You need to understand with the concept of limitless that you need to break the rules and break your limitations. So often in life, we go through and we decide, I can't do that. Long time ago, I was working for my father-in-law. Great guy, love the man. Still talk to him even today. So I was talking with him. This had to have been, 15 years ago or so. And I happened to be driving a very old vehicle. It was very beaten up and just very, very not so bueno. And I had to go out and buy a new car or get a different used car. I couldn't afford a new car at the time. I had to get something else. And so as I was going through that process, I was like, Dad, what do you think I should do? And of course, he looked at me and he said, I'd go and buy a Ferrari. I can't buy a Ferrari. Yes, you can. I can't afford a Ferrari. What are you talking about? That's your problem. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean that's my problem? I can't afford a Ferrari. And he explained to me the issue was how. He said, no, it's not an issue of can I afford it? The question is, how can I afford it? By adding that one word, how, to the question of can I do something, it changes the question from a question of limitations, saying can I do something, to a question of limitless possibilities, saying how can I do this? Now, it just so happens that he was also a CPA, lots of degrees and everything else, but he was a CPA. And as we were talking about these things over the years, he gave me the example and he said, look, it's not that you can't buy a car. The question is, how can you buy that Ferrari? How much is your Ferrari payment going to cost you? It's going to cost you X amount of dollars. So all you have to do is figure out, how do you generate X amount of dollars every month to pay for your Ferrari? This idea of limitless thinking actually totally broadened my understanding as an entrepreneur, realizing that there is an abundance. There's an abundance of resources. It's not all on me and my shoulders and what I can pull out of my pocket or what I can do. There is limitless resources out there in the world, practically limitless for those people who are being very, very technical. There's tons of resources way beyond anything that we can come up with at this point in time. There are tons and tons and tons and tons and tons. But the moment we say, I can't, that's the moment we put the brakes on. So since my father-in-law was a CPA, he said, look, there's anything, you can do just about anything. You just have to think about it in the right mindset. He said, for example, if you wanted to be a bookkeeper, but you didn't want to go to college, you wanted to be a CPA, but you didn't want to go to college, he said, you don't go and get a CPA certification. You go and you become a bookkeeper or an accountant, and you can make those things happen. And you don't need to have a CPA license. You can get the training, you can do the studies and the books and everything else, but there are ways of achieving those goals. But we have to remove those boundaries, those limiting factors, those limiting thoughts and limiting ideas that hold us back. If you go through life saying, I can't, ain't gonna work. So whatever your goal is, whatever your dream, whatever your desires are, you have to approach it with a concept of limitlessness to understand that, yes, it is possible. We just have to think outside of the box, outside of standard rules, and say, how do I achieve this goal? That's the concept of limitless. Moving on, let's see, humility, abundance, acceptance, dreams, desires, limitlessness, peace, 5, 6, 7. That's 7. Peace. Peace is the 7th point in our 11 steps to clarity. You might have this great big desire or great big dream. You might have this desire. You have to make sure, now that you understand that there are resources and it is possible, you have to approach it with a sense of peace. You have to understand, you have to be at peace with this goal and with this desire. And this is one that can be very, very difficult, and it can change, especially if you don't personally have clarity on your vision, on where you're going with all of this. So it might take, you might have an idea and tomorrow it might change a little bit, because as you're identifying these things, it's like you're trying to understand a subject, and you keep dialing it in a little bit more until you really get in there and you understand the details. So you might continue to adjust these things. And for peace, being at peace with your desires and with your goals, that's very important. If you have a goal, if you have a dream, let's say, whatever your dream might be, and you think it lines up with your desires and everything else, but it doesn't resonate with you. If it doesn't resonate and give you a sense of peace about, this is what I'm supposed to do, there's something either in your heart, in your gut, in your mind, there's something in your character it's just not sitting properly with. You need to come to a moment of peace and a point of peace with that, saying, yes, that it's like putting on a comfortable pair of shoes. You go, oh yeah, that's nice. That's good. And the reason this sense of peace is so important is because if you are uncomfortable with it, even on an intuitive level, in a subconscious level, if you are uncomfortable with your position or the company, it can lead to poor results. You don't want to do that. You're not going to be giving your all if you don't have that sense of peace. Number 8, engineering. Engineering. At this point in the 11 steps of clarity, you're going to be thinking about engineering. How can I document and reverse engineer to reach my goals or my dreams or my desires? So you're going to reverse engineer and come up with, what's my 10-year plan? What's my 3 to 5 year plan? What's my 1-year plan to reach my 3 to 5 year plan? So you go, what's my 10-year goal? What's my big dream? What do I have to do in the next 3 to 5 years to reach my 10-year goal? What do I have to do in the next 1 year? You take that 3 to 5 year goal, break it down into yearly goals. Let's just call it a 3-year goal. What do I have to do in the next 3 years to achieve that? What do I have to do in the next year to achieve my 3-year goal? And then what do I have to do in the next 12 months? And you'll break that down and break that into quarterlies. Quarterlies is just very easy for people. So what do I have to achieve in the next 3 months, the next 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months to achieve my 1-year goal? And you're going to break it down from something very big into something much smaller, into bite-sized pieces. That's how we're going to reverse engineer your goals. The 9th step is action. Woo! We're finally at step number 9. We finally get to the point of action. We need to take immediate steps to action to achievement. Immediate steps of action to achievement. So you have to say, what can I do today? That's really simple. You're going to write down your goal list in just a minute. That's your immediate step to action. And then what can I do tomorrow? What is my immediate steps to action steps to achieve something? Immediate steps of action to achieve something. You have to have an achievement in there. And then you have to have celebrations along the way. That's very important. But action is key. That's step number 9. Step number 10. Step number 10 in our 11 steps to clarity. Optimism. Step number 10 is optimism. You need to focus on growth and not on setbacks. You need to focus on growth, not on setbacks. If you're trying to achieve a goal, there will always be hardships. There will always be setbacks, because guess what? Life is hard. When we go back to the Bible says that sin entered the world and Adam would live and eat by the sweat of his brow. Long story short, life's hard. You got to accept that there are going to be hardships in life, and there are going to be hardships with you trying to achieve your goal. But you have to approach it with a sense of optimism. You have to focus on the growth, focus on the progress. Yes, there will be hardships. Yes, you should look at those. Don't totally neglect them, but focus on the growth. Because where you are today, even at the end of this 30-ish long minute video on dealing with the 11 steps to clarity, even at the end of this, you're going to be that much closer to achieving your goal. Yay! So make sure to celebrate. Take a moment and celebrate every single time you make a couple of steps forward. Celebrate them. By the way, this is also getting into motivations and how you create a positive change in your own life by positively reinforcing proper motivations in your life. We'll get to that in a different video. But you need to focus on the optimism, focus on the growth, focus on every step that you make, and celebrate those steps that you make. So optimism is step number 10. Step number 11 in the 11 steps to clarity is revision. Yes, revision. So we went through these 11 steps, and the most important part, all of them are important, but you have to realize that you're not perfect. Again, coming at it from a sense of humility. You're not perfect. Your ideas are not perfect. Neither are mine. Far from perfect. We're going to revise, we're going to learn, and we're going to continue to grow and expand. The point is to focus on the positive, to do better, to always learn, and to always make progress. So with the concept of revision on the ideas of vision and mindset is, now that we've gone through these 11 steps, you need to go through them all over again. You're going to review them all again, make sure that you have the right steps of vision and mindset. And now what you're going to do is, on a separate sheet of paper, that, don't forget, you should have a sheet of paper or something like that, you're going to write down your 10-year goal, your 3-year goal, your 1-year goal. And then you're going to set up quarterly goals. So the first 3 months, the next 3 months, which is months 4 to 6, then months 7 to 9, and months 10 to 12. You're going to set up your 4 quarters, And what you're going to do is you're going to write down these goals and you're going to say, what do I need to do? What's my ideal dream? Does it fit with my desires? Does it meet the qualifications of humility and abundance and limitlessness? Do I have that sense of peace? Does it resonate successfully to me? And then we're going to engineer this, write down our 10-year goal. And then what do I have to do in the next 3 years to reach my 10-year goal? And then what do I have to do in the next year to reach my 3-year goal? And you're going to break everything down to say, what are those steps? And then what do I have to do in the next 3 months to start reaching that 1-year goal? We're going to break all of that down. And then, of course, you're going to break it down even more to say, what do I have to do in the next 30 days to reach my first quarter goals? And you'll have a list of things that you can do. That's as hard as it is. It's not terribly difficult, but it is a little bit, there are some details in there. There are several steps in that process to reverse engineer. And the reason your 30-day list is really important is because the first thing you're going to do is take action. You're going to take action, take immediate steps. It has to be immediate, has to start today. You have to start today and take immediate steps to achievement. So figure out what those are and then celebrate achievements. Celebrate every step, celebrate every achievement you can. You're going to keep these goals as part of your 5x5 business system. It's part of the 5x5 vision section. Section 1 of the 5x5 business system are your goals with your dreams, your desires, your concepts of limitlessness and peace. Please give some time to this. You're going to review this probably in the very beginning a lot. You might review it weekly. You might, especially at the very beginning, you'll do it daily maybe. Depends on how clear and what clarity you have. But then you're going to move forward on that. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I look forward to working with you. If you do get stuck at all with the 5x5 business system, please contact me, reach out, and I will be more than happy to help you. Again, Jeremiah Townsend with the 5x5 business system. I wish you every success.